Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today is a very special Reunion 2020 episode. That's where I bring on a guest that I had on once, and I liked him so much I brought him back. So today's guest is Kevin Scrimgeour, who is a digital marketing and communications director over at Digital Advertising Consulting. Kevin, welcome back to the show.
Well, Adam, thank you very much for having me back. I really enjoyed our last podcast, and quite frankly, it really just blew up our business and just really got our name out there. So I really appreciate all that you're doing.
So I like our topic today, and it's very on topic, and it's also going to be very relevant to the business owners listening. So influencers, influencer marketing, how you're helping small businesses and business owners really tap into that network. But before we get into that, I don't want to assume that everybody listened to the first episode. So first, let's start off with a little bit more about what you're doing over at Digital Advertising Consulting.
So Digital Advertising Consulting is a full-service digital advertising agency. So we're going to run sort of with a one-stop shop for small to medium-sized businesses. That's going to be paid advertising, organic, so on and off-site, social media, both paid and not paid. So basically, we're your one-stop shop for everything digital. So from that first day you open your door, all the way through your growth, and then relaunching new products, expanding your business, we're going to be there to help you.
Any specific niches you work with or size of client that is is it just enterprise? Is it just small business in between? Just so that the people listening have a good idea for the scope of if after they're done listening to this full episode, they want to follow up with you, they know they're a right fit.
So generally, we're looking for the sort of the operator owner. So maybe that small business that you've started and that you really need to grow and to expand, and you've gotten to a point where, quite frankly, you just can't keep up with the demands of digital advertising anymore. So probably anywhere from about, say, $2 million to about $30 million in terms of annual sales volume is a good approach. In terms of niches, I really do a good job in automotive, restaurant, entertainment, that type of thing. And then I've been working a lot more with direct business to business. So if you're trying to target business owners and sell a product or service, those are the type of things. I would probably say that where we could probably do a little bit better job, maybe with charities, nonprofits, sort of that's just not our niche. So brick and mortar online businesses, and a lot more with Amazon. They've changed their model, and you really need to have your product in the brand way on Amazon.
That's awesome. Let's switch it up a bit. So I want to get into for everybody listening, when we were warming up in the show notes and kind of getting going before we hit the record button, Kevin was about to go off on a tangent, and I had to cut him off and say, no, Kevin, hold on, wait until that's great stuff. So tell us a little bit more about your thought process on influencer marketing, just to start out.
Well, I think really, I think we all know influence marketing. Nike has been doing it for many years, Coca-Cola, and of course we're all familiar with the typical restaurant critic. Well, those were oftentimes relegated to the big companies that could pay millions of dollars. With the different social media platforms, what we're finding is it's becoming more affordable to the small business owner, the person that has perhaps a smaller product line, or perhaps is buying a product and reselling it as either a distributor, wholesaler, or as a final distributor of the product. And really what we're talking about is sort of the extension of social media. And when we talk about social media, what we're saying is it's very difficult to have a YouTube channel with millions of followers. It's difficult to have an Instagram account with millions of followers, or that volume. So really what you're doing is you're buying somebody on YouTube or Instagram or a platform that matches well with your business product and your goals in order for them to be your pitchman, to sell your product, to talk about your service, or in some cases to help you with your brand.
Yeah, and I like your point is that you're making is that it's nothing new. It's just evolved slightly, and what you're doing now is it's not somebody where maybe some people had the perception, let's say, and maybe some people still do. It's not somebody out there just going out there playing with their phone and okay, now they have a big YouTube channel. I mean, it's so much harder than that. There's so much work that goes into that for anybody that's ever tried to grow one. That what people are starting to realize that it's the same thing as if somebody went out on a larger scale, of course, and they built a network. They built their TV network, and now you're advertising and buying ads on their TV network. So now you have the ability to reach the audience that a TV network did by building a brick and mortar business. Now it just happens to be more of a digital asset.
Well, I would agree, and I think you're probably a really good example of an influencer. You influence people through your writing, through your podcast, and through what you do on social media. So I'm influencing marketing with you. So that's the reason you work so hard is because you're an influencer, you're a thought leader, and you bring a lot of people together. So what we're doing today is influencer marketing.
No, that's awesome. So how does your company work with influencers? How do you help other businesses work with influencers? I mean, give us a little bit more of that.
Sure. Well, I think there's two portions of it too. The strength that I can bring to it is I'm going to listen to and understand what your business goals are, what products that you have or what services that you have, and then understand where you want to go and then match them up with an influencer. Not every influencer is the same. Sometimes they're either too big or they're too small, or their perception of the product may not necessarily match what they're doing. So I'm going to create a plan for your particular product, and then we're going to promote it within the influencer market space and find that person who is the right person for you to do it. And really it comes down to volume and reach. And so you want to have somebody that's either maybe a local influencer, such as somebody that's here in D.C. So if you're a local restaurant, how do you get somebody in the local area to write a blog? How do you get somebody to talk about your restaurant on their local podcast? So those are the type of things that I'm going to bring to it. In addition, you don't want to do this in isolation. So there's a couple of auxiliary things that go along with it in terms of how you would promote it, in terms of having that right brand feel for that particular channel. So we just basically make sure you're a good fit, they're a good fit, we match you up, and we create a plan.
Yeah, and there's multiple reasons for going the influencer route. So I know one of them is obviously sales. Another one is maybe branding. There's different reasons. So when you're explaining these things, just for anybody that's out there listening that
Sure.
maybe hasn't considered that route, can you kind of just go a little bit further into some of the reasons behind it, whether it's sales, whether it's branding? Because for some listening, this is just a whole new world.
Sure. So I think, we've talked about branding. So we're all familiar with Coca-Cola or Nike shoes and relationship with, say, Michael Jordan. And really what it is you're going to have an independent oftentimes we find that an independent third party that reviews your product and gives an honest, unbiased opinion about it to their fans is much more valuable in terms of driving consumers to your website as opposed to you delivering a commercial. So if that influencer is a trusted source and they are validating for your product, just simply as sure we've all heard a product endorsement from our local DJ on the radio. Well, that's the same thing, except it happens to be on social media. One thing that I'd probably maybe change a little different here is talking really about backlinks. And so what we're talking about is the technical SEO portion of it. If you have a website, and everybody has a website, as you have an influencer who perhaps, say, covers a particular product, housewares or design or sunglasses, they've talked about your product, they're going to link back to your business page, back to your business, and oftentimes they'll have a link, either your name or what we call a backlink, and so that's really very valuable. Oftentimes the sites that they're on, either as a blog or such as in YouTube, they have a high domain authority, so that's actually going to boost your rankings for the keywords. So Google will look at their article or their video and say, oh, this video is about this business, and we should send links to that business because they're an authority. So really it comes down to branding, just straight up sales. And you don't have to sell through your website. You can sell through Amazon. So we've had some good success with people doing a product and then linking through an affiliate program right back to Amazon. So that's been a good strategy. And then finally, just simply good old-fashioned SEO backlinking. It's very valuable.
Yeah, no, and Kevin, I can talk to you all day about this. I might have to bring you back on the show again, but we're about out of time for today. So Kevin, if somebody is listening to this and they do want more information on digital advertising consulting, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
So the best way you can reach out to me is just simply go to the website, digitaladvertisingconsulting.net, or Kevin at digitaladvertisingconsulting.net is my email. Or you can also connect with me through LinkedIn. So Kevin Scrimgeour, and just search LinkedIn, and you'll find me. So again, I really appreciate it. Influencer is a huge topic, and it's really going to be a strategy for 2020. And quite frankly, I can show you how to maximize your return on investment. So it'll be an exciting year.
Awesome. Well, hey, Kevin, really appreciate you coming on the show again and sharing your background and your insight and tips. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, do all those great things we do to support our podcasters. I really do appreciate it. And Kevin, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks, Adam, for having me.